it separated the chaff from. How do you feel about that, Pips?
You might have to say that again. I just lost you for a second then, my friend. Can you say that again?
Absolutely. It's a wheat round 9 football. 8 teams had a win.
Oh, I've been a cunt.
Except for
yes.
one.
Well, we're going to get into that one team that we're going to have a chat about because you're right. There was a lot of cracking games on the weekend. Mm-hmm. And more importantly, there were games that set up a little thing called the bottom of the ladder as well too. Some really good performances across the board. But look, it all starts first and foremost with the news of the week. Our news hound, handing it over to the J-Dog. You know we love him. My friend Jamie Wallace, take us through the news of the week with around the grounds.
All right, Peps. Let's with it. I'm having absolutely atrocious connection issues tonight. Let's start with the absolute mountain. The Jordan De Goey butt tap.
Oh my goodness,
Peps. Jordan, what's your thoughts on it? For me, it's a non-issue, is it,
mate? It must have, with everything that had happened. North winning their first game, Collingwood losing again, Gold Coast being pumped, a close one between the Tigers and the Giants, and this is what makes the news. Really, is this what makes the news? It's really challenging when there mustn't be anything to write for the media out there. How this is blown up into what it is. So, if you're not too sure, pre-game pump up, camera goes into the room. So it's in the inner sanctum. They're just about to run up, and there's a footage. Bucks is giving them an old pump up, and Geordie De Goey gives Isaac Quaynor a bit of a tap on the tush, bit of a squeeze, and that's it. So Jordan De Goey went to Jordan De Gropey in the space of one weekend. Could you ask for a bigger storm in a teacup, everybody? This is an absolute farce. How this has been made into some sort of issue where he wanted to be sanctioned by the AFL, sanctioned by the club, I've got no idea at all. If anyone has been in the rooms before a game, just before the run out, when the coach is giving the last message, that's when you're getting the pump up. That's when you're giving the reb. That's where you're giving the taps on the asses to the boys going, let's go, fellas. Let's have a cracker. They'll go by the names. Gordo, you're going to have a ripper. Peter, you're going to have a Peps, you're going to turn it on. Then you're giving slaps left, right, and centre. And to see Jordan De Goey once again being hung out to dry on such a mediocre task, it's just, once again, AFL have nothing better to talk about. There's a lot worse things going on in the world than a butt tap. It's an absolute shocker. So I don't know what they're going to do about it. Once again, it'll probably be blown out in all proportion once again. But hey, look, that's what happens with the AFL these days. They've got 7 days of content. Footy only goes for 4 of those days, so they're going to have to do something. So to Jordan De Goey, mate, storm in a teacup. There's bigger things going on at Collingwood at the moment that need to be looked at. The presidency side of things, is Buckley going to stay? If Buckley stays, do people want to go? There's lots of little things that are causing issues across the board at Collingwood, and a tap on the ass is not going to be one of them. So this is an absolute storm in a teacup, J-Dog. Another thing where J-Dog gets back, he's just dropped out for a moment, and I understand. He had a pretty tough weekend. Port going down. They had the biggest challenge so far this year. They've gone down to the Doggies by 19 points, and he would be absolutely shattered by that. It was a terrible weekend for all those who are on the chat right now. I can understand. We're here for you, J-Dog, but you were outclassed by a superior midfield and a superior team, and there was so much to like from what the Bulldogs did on Saturday evening. But we'll get into that a little bit more when the J-Dog gets back online. The other thing that I wanted to quickly talk about is how good was it to see the bouncing Kangaroos, the Kangas, getting their first win for the year. Absolutely pumped for them. They'd been coming back over the last number of weeks. You couldn't have asked for anything more than the Kangas doing that, and they were led so well in the midfield. Jai Simpkin probably played his best game for the club, and the heart and soul of that team, he lifts them by 5 goals each and every week he plays. Ben Cunnington, my goodness, my friend, you are an absolute star. Absolute star. So congratulations for everything that you've done. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick pause and we'll be back in just a moment. Oh, no, we're not. Jazz is on We're just going to talk. We're just going to talk. Jazz is talking at the moment, having a bit of a chat with the boys. How you going, Jazz? Tory up the Kangas. Yes, it was a great win. Nick Thiel over there in Port, you'd be a little bit crying at the moment, a little bit upset over what's happened, and I understand that. But yeah, it was great to see the Roos get a win. So we're going to have a bit of a chat with the people on the chat. Get on the chat. Like I say this every single week. Get on the chat. Be part of the show. Ask us anything you want until the J-Dog gets back. Alrighty. So for the people out there listening right now, I'll simply ask you a question. What was your highlight of the weekend? Or what was your low light? What was the one that made you go, yes, I love watching football? Or was it, oh, here we go again? So there's plenty of people on the stream at the moment. Get on there. What was it? Was it the Roos? Was it the Doggies? Was it Richmond stealing victory from the jaws of defeat? Was it the D's going 9-0? Was it the Swans once again putting more misery into Collingwood's Collingwood season? Or can it actually be St Kilda kicking themselves out of a potential win against a top 8 team? Nicky Thiel, yes, exactly right. Nick, it's Thiel like Teal. He was absolutely pumped for the Roos. And I think everybody that we've been talking about so far has been speaking about the Roos and how awesome they were on the weekend. Nicky, what was your highlight for the Roos? What was it about? Was it the way that they played throughout the entire day? Was it the way that they just stood up over the course of the game? Did it say more about Hawthorn, or did it say more about North? In my eyes, I think it said more about North, especially over the last few weeks, how everything is starting to really come together for them. They played some great football against the D's a couple of weeks ago. They stayed in the game last week, and they finally got that win. I think a few people have tipped it as well too. So for everybody who had it hard-earned on the Kangas, good stuff to you. Hey, if you had a look at Q Clash, who thought of that? The Q Clash. Jeez, the Suns didn't turn up again, did they? 73-point mauling at the hands of the Lions. So what can we do there? Actually, we're going to pause this. I've just got to bring J-Dog back in. So we'll be back